Why, hello there. Hi, friends. I'm inviting you today to moisten yourself in the wetness of my stream. You were just about to email me? I will check my email if you want me to. I'll check it with my check-in finger. Well, I don't see any email from. I see an email from Audible, from Nextdoor Arcadian, from YouTube, from Guitar Center, from YouTube, from YouTube, from YouTube, from Facebook, from YouTube, from Target, from YouTube, from the New York Times, from YouTube. How do I keep that? Not really. Well, I mean, I don't want to delete it, but I don't want it to be unread. It's just a PayPal thing. It's like, I don't know if I should keep those things or not. You know, things like, your payment, this is your receipt for your payment for the, YouTube. A lot of YouTube stuff. Oh, hey, look, fun. Email from Jeff Shaw. That's what I want to read. I was thinking, you know what would be great? What I really want to read right now? Is this title a joke on Shapiro's wife? What do you mean? I'm not into it. It's just, I'm inviting you, Genexial. I'm not forcing you, but I am inviting you. If you'd like to, you may, you're welcome to, moisten yourself in the wetness of my stream. That's all. Okay, well, I know, but news to me, I never heard anything about that at all. That is incredibly douchey of him. That makes me kind of, well, ENTP might do that. He's younger than me, you know. What if I moisten the stream with my own wetness? You could do that too. You can wetten the stream. It's already full of moisture, but you can wetten it further if you'd like. I mean, the thing is, it's a weird thing because it's like, I don't even want to get into it. It's too tricky a topic to even get into. But because he said that WAP song sounds like a medical condition, so people started joking that his wife is dry. So, hold on. Did he say it or did other people say it? Okay, well then how could he get you for it? That's ridiculous. It's like, he should get you for it if he was like, boy, I'm so sick of this. My wife is so dry in her vagina all the time. I'm just like, God, it's like sandpaper down there, woman. Come on. That would, in fact, be condemnation worthy. Talk about throwing your partner under the bus, right? But if you want to be my lover, you got to get with my friend. Meow, 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 meow. Friendship never ends. So, anywho, I stayed up late last night. I said to stay up because I had 3 a.m. But then, after I had taken the Adderall to stay up all night, the 3 a.m. canceled. I don't think so, horseman boy. I tend to, you know, I don't even want to talk about it, but it's like, it's for me, I think of it as, like, I mean, I feel like I can always tell how into it she is. Sometimes much more, and sometimes a little less so. And if not very much so, then I wouldn't want to have sexual intercourse anyway, because it would mean she wasn't that into it. That's the kind of thing that I wouldn't really want to have to say out loud, but I just said all that stuff out loud anyway. So that's my take on it, whatever that means. Why is it so humid in this live stream? Well, it's because of the moisture combined with the dew and the dampness. That's what creates the humidity. Okay, but Jesus Christ. I don't even want to get into it. I don't even want to get into it. All I'm saying is there does seem to be, within a given woman, within multiple instances of sexual intercourse with a given woman, the same woman, you will naturally encounter a range, right? I find that range correlates with enthusiasm pretty straight up for me. From my experience. Kevin Chen says, oof, 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 oof. I mean, listen, sexual intercourse is one of the more controversial new inventions. And I get that a lot of us are still unsure. No, what I'm saying is that you can determine, in my experience, one can determine if you have multiple instances of sexual intercourse with the same person, how into it she is, based on that, if you know her range. It's very awkward to talk about, but I guess that's what I'm trying to say. That's a pretty unawkward way to say it, I guess. I'll tell you what wasn't unawkward. Cleaning off your mom's face last night. I had to go and borrow your dad's hand towel. And he said, what do you need it for? And I said, I got to clean your wife's face off. It was really awkward. Why is the look on your face a bit uncomfortable, host Eric? You almost look like you can't find the words, but we all know better. I can find the words. I can find the words that I need to find for saying what I need to say, which isn't very much today. I'm not feeling especially optimally functioning. I feel like a car towards the end of Le Mans, which is to say, I've been running for a long time. Probably due for yet another oil change. Change my tires again. You know what I was unable to find on YouTube is a video that explained to me how to reverse video clips in the new Windows Movie Maker. How are we going to get moistened? Well, first, we're going to pair you guys up. I want everybody to find a moistening buddy, please, because we're going to prevent this year. There's not going to be any deaths, not going to be any drownings. First of all, you guys all remember the song, right? Keep it in mind every moment you're near the water. Cold water, it's a watery grave. ISAJ 12 says period blood is the best moistener. Oh, I see. You're trying to get yourself invited to my vaginal blood sploosh splash party, aren't you? Well, I'll think about it. You know, it's kind of for the elites around here, you know, but I'll think about it. Welcome to my vaginal blood sploosh splash party tonight. I wonder if that could flag some YouTube mods. I mean, I think anybody watching this thing, any human being watching it would go, it's fine. They're just joking around. You know? Yeah. Period Police is a good show for a man to make, where you go around and you find videos of women talking about their periods and correct them about it. No, ladies, no. You're going to period jail. That's not why you're in a bad mood. It's because you lack discipline, young lady. Man's playing the fuck out of them. No. So PMS is not a real thing. You stop enabling your own bullshit with that stuff, little lady. A series like 2-minute videos where all I do is like take one clip of some lady talking about a period on YouTube, and I go, no, and no. That's not how it works. Now, when you menstruate, and then give a little lecture on it.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Oh, you're live streaming. Yay.
I am. So there's a really good exchange here that I think is extraordinarily explanatory. Everybody could learn from it. Nympha asks, how will they know I'm on my period? And she points out, what if I was stabbed in the pubic region and had to wear a pad for some reason? Well, the reason would be because you'd been stabbed in the pubic region. You could call the channel Periodic Pedantry. That's a fantastic name for a first mumbler. And I got to tell you, people throw ideas at me fairly often, and I'm always happy to hear them because I am not at all afraid to go with somebody else's good idea, But the one idea that keeps sticking with me, Horse Mumbler is the cover of National Brotherhood Week, but with typology. The biggest problem I keep running into is types are 4 letters, and everything in the song is not that many syllables. Who is Jeff Shaw? Jeff Shaw is a breath of fresh air around here, is what he is. Finally, somebody comes in here and speaks truth to power. You know, me, along with the rest of us, blind sheep, have been milling around and buying, and finally Jeff Shaw shows up, and he's not afraid to say it like it is. You know, I have no spirit. I have lots of things. Are ENTPs good leaders because of the ability to use people with the correct dominant function for the task? Possibly. I don't know if ENTPs are really good leaders necessarily. I think that they can be. I think ENTPs are good leaders for kids because we're kind of immature. And so, but we're also kind of no bullshit, which is we make good teachers, or at least I certainly have made a good teacher. It took a while to learn all the skills associated with it, but the thing is, it's he. I wouldn't follow an ENTP into battle because of their FI blind spot. I mean, ideally, I wouldn't be leading people into battle. Which type makes the best leaders? It kind of depends on what sort of leadership you're looking for, or what sort of thing you're looking for leadership about. So different kinds of organizations requires different kinds of leadership styles, really. It makes sense if you're at war, then you want your generals to be ESTPs mostly, you know, and your field generals as well. If you're at peace, you probably want them to be ISTJs and stuff because they're just trying to keep track of resources and keep costs down, and you know, it depends whether you're trying to actually win a war. Well, 50 Eagle, I understand. I think low FI is a good thing for leadership in general. I think low FI is also a good thing for people who need to communicate about controversial things or want to communicate about controversial things. Because you will definitely get pushback. Oh no, I warmed the water ahead of time. I heated the water. It's a delight. It's like a delightful tropical sea right now. Running Fox. Forgot you're really sensitive about that. It's not really being respectful of the sensitivity, is it? Are you provoking? Who make the best cult leaders? Got to be ENFJs. The thing is, what if an ENTP convinces you into bombing a country? If we look at recent history, it's not been argumentation that's pushed people into war. In fact, probably if we look at history in general, it's not the voices of the hawks that are winning the arguments. It's more like, if you look at W, he really wanted to go to war. He pushed it through. It's like I say explicitly my perspective on foreign policy is that we shouldn't be killing people. We shouldn't have any wars that are ongoing still. It doesn't feel like we're at war right now, but we have at least 2 active wars. We're still at war with North Korea, technically. Which I guess would make it totally legal. That's the weird thing is international law prohibits, as does many centuries of precedent and so forth, prohibits what Trump did with that Iranian general. That is assassination. And yet he got away with it. Whatever. It happens. Shit like that happens with governments. They're pretty shady. But the crazy thing is, we could totally bomb the shit out of North Korea and nobody could raise a peep in terms of international law. Hey, we're still at war with these fuckers. We are involved in a declared war. It's weird. Of course, the reason we haven't done anything militarily in North Korea is like what Bush did in Iraq is what Bush should have done in North Korea instead. North Korea was actually worth doing that to, doing that thing he was doing. North Korea, their problem wasn't a religion. Their problem was a political ideology that every second of their existence belied. Why is Hitler ENTP? I don't think Hitler is ENTP. I think he's ENFJ. Or INFJ on methamphetamine. For years. Maybe. That's possible. But, people do say he's an INFJ, but no, I don't think so. I think he's either an ENFJ, or if he's an INFJ, it's because he was all thwacked out. I mean, what do you think the attitudes of the ENTP are? I think Noam Chomsky is probably an INFP. He's a terrible thinker. He had one good idea. He had one good set of ideas at the beginning of his career, and then he was just completely full of shit the rest of the time. Well, okay, so what do you think a major lack of FI values comprises? I mean, the thing to remember is being FI polar in one very significant sense means you can't handle your emotions at all. So when I said something really sad it involves a turtle at the pond, or when I saw my cat get hurt in Temple City, it completely destroyed me. It's like I couldn't stand to see it. And it hurt so much, and it haunted me. A major lack of FI values usually comprises that the individual tests things to find out the limits of what people value and ask why they value it. Well, the thing is, it's taken me a long time, perhaps, in some sense, to learn, to understand what that is conceptually, like the FI thing, but it was always the same way. It's this, like, as with the story I've told before about the first time after attempting to shoot birds with my wrist rocket for a long time, I finally hit one. And then I never shot one again, because when I ran up and looked at it, it was all hurt and tweeting and sad, and I felt like I just sort of was like, oh my God, why did I do this? And never shot another bird again. So you're right in the sense that I had no idea whatsoever that I was going to feel bad until I saw the bird on the ground, bloody. Right? I thought this is going to be great fun. That's part of FI Polar too. Not getting that things are going to have emotional impacts, but it does not mean that you are somehow more resistant to those emotional impacts. In some sense, you're less resistant. He makes up for it by spoiling his pets. I mean, yeah, there's also that. Hitler was a sociopath. So, I mean, the thing is, Hitler's bad behavior, Hitler's fundamental disregard for suffering in human life, perhaps even certainly some weird. Yeah, I was thinking that too, Horse Humbler. You and I are going down the same paths here. It's just, that's why I haven't actually done it. It's a little more tricky than it seems, but I still might end up doing it because I think it's a great idea. I love that song. You know what song of his I really like a lot? I was listening to him in the car the other day with Rachel, and I really like the song Oedipus Rex. That song's hilarious. I guess I didn't really quite get it as a kid because, you know, I started listening to Tom Lehrer. My dad had a huge record collection, and my mom had like 5 records, and 2 of them were Tom Lehrer records, and one of them was Harry Belafonte, and I don't remember what the other ones were, but I listened to those Tom Lehrer records when I was a kid. I didn't really. I mean, I got that Oedipus Rex was the story of somebody who slept with his mother or something, you know, had sex with his mother, but I guess, I mean, I think I knew that. I think I knew the basic concept of the Oedipus Rex story at that time, but I just somehow just didn't seem to get any of the jokes really in it, and quite the tune, right? So such a catchy tune, and I was listening to it in the car as I was saying, and I was just that's the song of his that actually made me laugh a bunch of times when I was listening to it. I don't normally laugh at, you know, even if you like a comedy song or something, you're not going to laugh at it more than once or twice. And I've heard those Tom Lehrer songs plenty of times, but that one's pretty funny. I'll tell you, the other one that really sticks out is super good is the new math. It's the lyrics to that are so great. It's so Tom Lehrer is, he's an ENTP that makes me feel like a second class ENTP, frankly. I have a lot of respect for the guy. And I believe I got away with playing one of his songs on the stream last time. So I think I'm going to try that again. I'm going to try to play New Math. Or I could play Oedipus Rex. I'll play New Math.
Some of you who have small children may have perhaps been put in the embarrassing position of being unable to do your child's arithmetic homework because of the current revolution in mathematics teaching known as the new math. So as a public service here tonight, I thought I would offer a brief lesson in the new math tonight. We're going to cover subtraction. This is the first room I've worked for a while that didn't have a blackboard, so we will have to make do with more primitive visual aids, as they say in the ad biz. Consider the following subtraction problem. Try to put up here. 342 minus 173. Now, remember how we used to do that. 3 from 2 is 9, carry the 1. And if you're under 35 or went to a private school, you say 7 from 3 is 6. But if you're over 35 and went to a public school, you say 8 from 4 is 6. Carry the 1, so you have 169. But in the new approach, as you know, the important thing is to understand what you're doing rather than to get the right answer.
Sorry, Gen Xio. I'll fix that. Rachel, you hit Gen Xio. It was recorded. It wasn't a laugh track. It was a live recording. Oh, can you unhide him? Do you know how to unhide him? If Rachel doesn't know how to unhide you, then can someone put me the link to that thing again? Oh, you did? You unhidden him. Okay. Okay, cool. Thank you. Okay, fine.
Here's how they do it now. You can't take 3 from 2. 2 is less than 3, so you look at the 4 in the tens place. Now that's really 4 tens, so you make it 3 tens, regroup, and you change the 10 to 10 ones, and you add them to the 2 and get 12, and you take away 3, that's 9. Is that clear? Now instead of 4 in the tens place, you've got 3 because you added 1, that is to say 10 to the 2, but you can't take 7 from 3, so you look in the hundredths place. From the 3, you then use 1 to make 10 ones, and you know why 4 plus minus 1 plus 10 is 14 minus 1, because addition is commutative, right? And so you got 13 tens, and you take away 7, and that leaves 5. Well, 6 actually, but the idea is the important thing. Now go back to the hundredths place. You're left with 2, and you take away 1 from 2, and that leaves. Everybody get 1? Not bad for the first day. Hooray for new math! Here, Google Math. It won't do you a bit of good to review math. It's so simple, so very simple, that only a child can do it. Now that actually is not the answer that I had in mind, because the book that I got this problem out of wants you to do it in base 8. But don't panic. Base 8 is just like base 10, really. If you're missing 2 fingers. Shall we have a go at it? Hang on. You can't take 3 from 2. 2 is less than 3, so you look at the 4 in the 8's place. Now that's really 4 8s, so you make it 3 8s, regroup, and you change an 8 to 8 ones, and you add to the 2, and you get 1 2 base 8, which is 10 base 10, and you take away 3, that's 7. Okay? Now instead of 4 in the 8's place, you've got 3 because you added 1, that is to say 8 to the 2, but you can't take 7 from 3, so you look at the 64s. 64. How did 64 get into it? I hear you cry. Well, 64 is 8 squared, don't you see? When you ask a silly question, you get a silly answer. From the 3, you then use 1 to make 8 ones. You add those ones to the 3, and you get 1 3 base 8, or in other words, in base 10, you have 11, and you take away 7, and 7 from 11 is 4. Now go back to the 64s. You're left with 2, and you take away 1 from 2, and that leaves... Now let's not always see the same hands. 1, that's right. Whoever got 1 can say it.
He's also responsible for the Elements song, which is done to the tune of Modern Major General song. You know that I am the very something of a modern major general. You know that song? Well, this is set to that song, but it's got the lyrics are the Elements.
There's antimony, arsenic, aluminum, selenium, and hydrogen, and oxygen, and nitrogen, and rhenium, and nickel, neodymium, neptunium, germanium, and iron, americium, ruthenium, uranium, europium, zirconium, lutetium, vanadium, and lanthanum, and osmium, and astatine, and radium, and gold, protactinium, and indium, and gallium, and iodine, and thorium, and thulium, and thallium. There's yttrium, ytterbium, actinium, rubidium, and boron, gadolinium, niobium, iridium, and strontium, and silicon, and silver, and samarium, and chromium, lithium, beryllium, and barium.
See, this is a real piece of wordsmithing.
There's holmium, and helium, and hafnium, and erbium, and phosphorus, and francium, and fluorine, and terbium, and manganese, and mercury, molybdenum, and magnesium, dysprosium, and scandium, and cerium, and cesium, and lead, praseodymium, and platinum, and plutonium, palladium, promethium, potassium, polonium, and tantalum, technetium, titanium, tellurium, and cadmium, and calcium, and chromium, and curium. There's sulfur, californium, and fermium, berkelium, and also mendelevium, einsteinium, nobelium, and argon, kryptonium, radon, xenon, and rhodium, and chlorine, carbon, cobalt, copper, tungsten, tin, and sodium. These are the only ones of which the news has come to Harvard. And there may be many others, but they haven't been discovered.
So the thing is super impressive about that song. That is not an easy song to put together. He's got to take all the elements and match them up syllabically with the words from the song Modern Major General song. It's really an impressive piece of wordsmithing. Not to mention, of course, he's a great piano player. Like he kills the piano. He's just like freaking, super good piano-y person. Anywho, I actually have to go because I have to start work at 10 o'clock, and it's 2 minutes till 10 o'clock. So, goodbye, my friends. I love you all, and I'll see you later. He's an INTJ, obviously.